Ecuador has delivered a decisive political upset. In a high turnout referendum, voters rejected President Daniel Noboa's push to allow foreign, effectively US, military bases back onto Ecuadorian soil. The proposal, central to Noboa's security strategy, was defeated along with all three of his other reform questions. The National Electoral Council said, counting showed a clear national trend toward the no vote across all four questions: foreign bases, reducing the size of the National Assembly, ending public financing for political parties, and creating a constituent assembly to rewrite the Constitution.
Ecuadorians, at 9 p.m., 2 a.m. GMT, we have counted more than 65% of the votes nationwide, with a clear trend in the four questions of the 2025 referendum and popular consultation. In accordance with the law, it is incumbent upon the plenary session of the CNE, National Electoral Council, to convene a national public hearing on the vote count to review and approve the results from each of the country's provinces, the three overseas constituencies, and finally, to announce the official results.
Supporters of the no vote celebrated across Quito, calling the result a rejection of Noboa's alignment with Washington and what they see as an erosion of Ecuador's sovereignty. Opposition leader Luisa González, long critical of foreign military presence, hailed the outcome as a victory for national dignity.
The homeland has triumphed, which means that this country has overcome hatred and united to tell those who govern us, President Daniel Noboa, that you don't play with Ecuador, you don't play with the rights of Ecuadorians. Here there is a dignified people who today say no to your lies, your corruption, and your destruction of the country.
The referendum is a major setback for Noboa, a conservative president closely aligned with the Trump administration. He had argued that partnering with the US military was essential to confront record-level cartel violence, with violent deaths rising more than 36% this year. But sovereignty concerns, economic frustration after subsidy cuts, and distrust of constitutional overhaul efforts proved stronger. Global voices have also questioned the impact of US military installations abroad. Economist Jeffrey Sachs, in a recent speech, warned that America's global network of foreign bases fuels instability rather than resolving it. A view echoed by many Latin American voters wary of outside intervention.
We don't need politics in those agencies. Third, we need to close our overseas military bases. They are hundreds of billions of dollars in 80 countries, 750 to 800 overseas military bases that only suborn politics all over the world, support covert operations, and create terrible expense and terrible crises.
Analysts say Ecuador's vote signals a broader regional pushback against US military influence, especially in countries where past interventions remain politically sensitive. It also undermines Washington's hopes of re-establishing counter-narcotics operations in places like the Manta Air Base, once a strategic US surveillance hub. Noboa has conceded defeat, saying he respects the will of the Ecuadorian people. But the loss weakens his political standing and leaves unanswered how Ecuador will confront its spiraling violence without the expanded powers he sought, and without US military presence that voters have now decisively rejected.